Hey guys, and welcome back to Extracurricular Activities. I'm Savannah.
And I'm Cass.
And this week we'll hear about some science, some snacks, and definitely some chats. Here's News of the Week.
Australian golfer Jared Lyle, aged 36, has died of cancer. The news comes only 8 days after his decision to end treatment and go into palliative care. He had been going through a third round of treatment, suffering from acute myeloid leukemia. He died surrounded by friends and family in Torquay. Peter Pavlis, the founder of the muesli company, has been found guilty of stabbing and murdering his business partner Jennifer Borchardt. The 76-year-old has been sentenced to 17 years in prison and will serve at least 12 before being eligible for parole. Justice Leslie Taylor, in sentencing Pavlis, described the murder as a brutal and frenzied killing. And Malcolm Turnbull is coming under increasing pressure over the allocation of nearly $500 million to the Great Barrier Reef Foundation. A former board member, Michael Meyer, has called the grant shocking and almost mind-blowing. He said it was absurd for the federal government to give such a large sum of money to a company with only 6 employees, without due diligence, without a proper tender process, and without a request. And on that note, back to you guys.
Now we get to hear about what some of the researchers from UOW are doing about improving access for those with disabilities.
So what the project is basically looking at accessibility in the region. We do this by putting trackers on wheelchair pilots. They're actually going to go out and go to every single street or most of the streets in the area and to look at the determination of effort for having to go across place. Effort is different for everyone and accessibility is different for everyone. So particularly for the wheelchair community, there are those that have full-time carers to Paralympians. So there's a whole host of different ability, and the terrain and whatnot can impact how they can get around. You can use that information to determine your level of accessibility and how you should navigate the terrain effectively based on your skills. This is really why it's such a cool and interesting project. This is not about accessibility just for wheelchairs. This is about accessibility for everyone. And everyone has a level of accessibility that changes during their life, dependent on conditions or whatnot. The wheelchair mapping also would be very relevant for those who have prams, so mothers with prams, those who have trouble walking, those who have small kids, those that are carrying a whole bunch of groceries. It doesn't matter. So this level of accessibility and understanding this actually gives a measure to then improve infrastructure for the whole community. So Wollongong will be one of the premier cities that have actually showcased the use of this technology. There's no reason why we can't expand this through New South Wales, through Australia and beyond. We know that Google and others are looking at it. It's how big can we actually go with the funding that we have to showcase that this is truly scalable, it's global, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing it now.
Now I'll be talking with Adelaide Haynes about the biggest day of the year, UOW Open Day.
Today we're joined by Adelaide Haynes from LHA Marketing, here to talk to us about UOW Open Day. Thanks for joining us, Adelaide.
Hey, thanks.
So could you just tell us about what UOW Open Day is?
Sure. So like you said, it definitely is the biggest day of the year. It's a really vibrant day on campus where this year we're expecting between 7,000 and 9,000 people. And it really, UOW is putting on a show and showing our absolute best for the day. So I work for the Faculty of Law, Humanities and the Arts, and we've been behind the scenes of our creative zone. So that will be up in Building 25 and we'll be showcasing things like our journalism pop-up newsroom. There will be musicians on the lawn and a photography studio work class. So lots of different things for people to be involved in. And there'll be things like that all across the university.
The newsroom sounds really awesome, but I was just wondering, when you talk about the size that we're expecting, are you expecting rural students or more city students? Like, where are you expecting them from?
Well, hopefully from everywhere. Sometimes we do even get people that come from interstate. It is a really big day, not only for us, but we're thinking about students who are in maybe year 11 and 12 and trying to decide what they want to do for their future. And making that decision can be a really big choice. So the best way we've found is to invite them onto campus, make them feel comfortable, keep them really informed and entertained, and just show them their options. So really from all around.
Yeah, so your slogan is open for inspection. What exactly does that mean? What are people expecting on the day?
Yeah, so we are open for inspection. So there's going to be lots of different information sessions and studios, all that kind of thing, really for people to come in and inspect and check out and make that decision of whether UOW is going to be the right place for them. Hopefully they can leave feeling really empowered and really educated and confident that this is the right place for them and that they can feel really excited about that.
So you say this is one of the biggest events of UOW. Do other universities do something similar, or is this particular to Wollongong?
Yeah, so it is quite common across universities. They will have an open day, and it's great, and we always advise students to go and check out their open days as well. I found that when I was choosing a university, coming onto campus was really a deciding factor for me about where I wanted to study. And especially when you come to Wollongong, you know, you're walking amongst the trees, the campus is beautiful, there's coffee shops everywhere, you really feel welcome and at home. And that plus all of the academic information that you're going to receive will really be quite beneficial.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Adelaide. We're really excited to see how Open Day goes this Saturday.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. See you then.
Thank you.
Now we'll be seeing some writers at the Wollongong Art Gallery discussing some of their pieces inspired by some of the artworks.
How brutal the bullet of grief that did this. The crucified kangaroo, blasphemed marsupial of the scrub paddock and border paddock, of escarpment and road.
So what we're doing is a group of people, writers from the Illawarra, are reading the short pieces that they've worked on over the past couple of months in front of the images that inspired the pieces of writing. You might look at an image and go, oh yeah, that's a really boring landscape, pretty landscape, and then actually once you drill into it, there's a whole lot of other stories that can be told.
My painting was The Cabbage Tree Forest, American Creek by Eugene von Gerard. I created a fictional story about an endangered frog, but I just wanted them to explore the possibility that, you know, in that tree, in that forest, there was actually once upon a time another sort of settlement of creatures that are no longer there.
Well, I say this to you, shared and to all, for the forgiveness of sins fared seafully from imperial coastline to most bastardized shore.
So now we're going into a new segment of Why Science Doesn't Suck. And if that didn't intrigue you, it's about volcanoes.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new segment of this semester's show, Science Doesn't Suck, where I take you through everything from the newest discoveries and theories to explaining those basic questions that you've never really had answered. This week, why some volcanoes really go off and others kind of have a runny nose. The simple answer is the amount of silica in the magma. You see, the more silica, the more viscous and thick the magma is. Imagine pushing honey and water through a small hole in a plastic bag. It takes a lot more pressure to move the honey, and when too much pressure builds up, that's why volcanoes on or near a continental landmass tend to go off with a bang, because continental crust has a much higher silicon content than oceanic plates. Take the Mount St. Helens eruption in the US in 1980, which left 57 people dead and generated about $1.2 billion in damage. That volcano is what we call a cinder cone, also known as a ticking time bomb. 24 megatons of thermal energy was released during that eruption, which is equivalent to about 1,600 Hiroshima bombs. These eruptions literally move mountains. Then we have our shield volcanoes, which are generally quite flat, like a pancake that's fatter in the center. These usually come in the form of a hotspot volcano, or as a member of a volcanic island chain. Because the oceanic plates contain a lot less silica, the magma produced beneath these volcanoes is quite runny, and so flows down in sheets, creating layers like some weird black, burning mineralized cake. That's not to say these things aren't dangerous. You see, the volcanic eruptions that have happened recently on Hawaii, which is literally one large volcano, is a perfect example of a shield volcano erupting. And volcanoes are dangerous. In the last 500 years, about 200,000 people have lost their lives as a result of a volcanic eruption. You can be killed by poisonous gases such as carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide and trioxide, hydrogen sulfide and numerous acid-based gases. You can be buried beneath clouds of superheated ash and more poisonous gases, such as the case of the poor chums living next to Mount Vesuvius. Lahars, which are mixtures of ash and water or ice that have the consistency of cement, can bury towns and people. And my personal favourite is the Nua Andante, a highly mobile, turbulent cloud composed of superheated ash and gas, which in some circumstances can be incandescent. Ladies and gentlemen, science doesn't suck. See you next week.
This week we saw an event called Dinner with a Conscience, run by iAccelerate. It's about sustainable eating and supplies from the local area.
Hi, I'm Brad Sullivan, reporting here from Innovation Campus at the iAccelerate Dinner with a Conscience evening. This evening is, proudly brought to you by all of the local producers who've got some great food here. So we're going to check it out and learn a little bit about sustainability. So let's check it out. So Omar, you're the CEO of iAccelerate, and that's obviously why we're all here, celebrating some really wonderful local produce and sustainable eating. And I just kind of wanted to pick at your brain as to how this sort of came about.
Yeah, well, we've been really interested in entrepreneurship on many levels, and one of the levels is really about social enterprises and people who are looking to create businesses that are actually trying to do something positive in the community, maybe support the local community somehow, and sometimes giving back to the community. But making it in a way that's self-sustaining. The idea of really the food in many ways is both a metaphor, but also the reality of, that we underestimate and undervalue the foods that we have around us. And then we got together with some chefs and saying, look, can you help highlight, especially the growers and those in the local community can sometimes do it really tough because they're always under price pressure and people don't really value the fact that they are members of the community as well. So we got together and they thought that they could really come up with a really interesting idea, and a bunch of the best chefs in Wollongong said, let's create a meal where we can actually highlight those values.
I'm here with Aaron Anderson, who is the head chef at Bill & James and one of the wonderful people who'll be putting on a great spread for us tonight. Aaron, how is this sort of thing important for local businesses?
From a local business side, we honestly are so grateful for iAccelerate, and they're putting on, riding the back of their conference. For us, it's an ability to get out there, meet producers that we don't normally meet. We're usually caught in our four walls, slaving away in our kitchens. And it's a night that we can come together and actually exchange ideas, which it's pretty hard to do when you're running your own business. So it's extremely important. And to reach out to the people that, a lot of these suppliers are people that we use, maybe not all the time, but it's a way of reaching out to them and saying, give us your best, and we'll showcase it to, some people in Wollongong who love good food and good wine.
Just about to settle down for what I can only assume will be a delicious meal, so stick around.
Come from agricultural backgrounds. That's what they knew, that's what they grew up with, that's what they felt comfortable with. So
Back there, Rookie Eatery, and Michael from Aspire, who kindly loaned us the kitchen space, and obviously was very knowledgeable.
Well, my belly's full, and that just about wraps up the Dinner with a Conscience evening here at iAccelerate. So I definitely recommend you go out and get yourself some locally grown produce and have a good meal. I'm Brad Sullivan, and this is UOW TV Multimedia.
Talking about sustainability, there's some farmers that are out there right now doing it really hard with the drought that's hit New South Wales. Tori went out on campus to ask some people about it.
Today, New South Wales was announced to be in drought. Have you done anything to reduce your water consumption?
I do this by not consuming any animal products because animal agriculture is one of the biggest contributors to water usage.
Reducing our showers, the little one used to stay in there for a long period of time. Now it's, you get out quickly.
Drink next water? Not really sure.
Washing the car, just limit the amount of water, pretty much.
I haven't done anything as yet, but maybe I'll take shorter showers.
Now we have food on our minds, and here we have 60-second snacks where we see something I definitely hadn't heard of, which is the dump cake.
Hi, this is 60-second snacks, and today we're making a dump cake. You'll need brown sugar, fruit of your choice, tonight we're using pears, butter, almonds, cinnamon, cake mix, and you'll need to spray your dish with canola spray. First things first, you need to spray your dish, then you're going to add your fruit and just sprinkle your cake mix on top. Then you're going to add some brown sugar. Just grab like a tablespoon, depending on how sweet you want it anyway. Just sprinkle it all around. And then you're going to add some cinnamon and some flaked almonds. This just adds a bit of texture, but you don't have to add them if you don't like them or if you're allergic. Then you're just gonna mix it all together. Now the best part is you're gonna add some butter. Just plop some all over the place. Preheat your oven. 180, I think that'll do. Now we're gonna put this in the oven to bake away. Yummy. So it took us half an hour to cook on 180 degrees and it looks like this. So the best way to serve this is hot with a big scoop of ice cream. So you can see it's kind of like become a cakey consistency.
Moment of truth. Right. Not too sweet, not too dry, just right.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.
For something that has the word dump in it, it sure does look pretty good. Now we'll be throwing to Maddie on campus who's popping the question, what was the last thing you Googled?
Hey, it's Maddie for another week of Pop the Question. This week we're asking, what was the last thing you Googled? This could be interesting. Hold on. Their eye, and then I'll just be like, oh.
Grimus, which is a French-Lithuanian literary scientist. So it's just exciting stuff just for class because I missed out on one of the things they said.
It was, why is there liquid on the top of my sourdough starter?
I googled the weather. And were you happy with the answers? Yeah, it seems like a pretty good weekend this weekend.
The side effects of mixing lorazepam and morphine.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a tough one. Where's my wallet? It's probably... if anyone's seen my wallet, let me know. I can't pay my rent.
I swear people keep walking far away. Rip in, rest in peace.
Well, if life's getting you down and you need that mystery solved, then here we have quack questions to solve all of your problems.
Feeling overwhelmed with uni life and you can't stop pondering the big questions. Why am I here? What is the purpose of life? Who am I? Never fear, cause the ducks are here. And they'll help you handle life's problems like water off a duck's back.
Well, that sure solved my existential crisis.
Now we're going to our new music segment, The Earworm, talking about the gigs this week in Wollongong.
Back to your weekly dose of inside scoops on what's good in the gong. We want to shake it up a bit this semester and deliver you some in-house interviews and some super spicy hot takes on exclusive fresh music news. And of course, a whole bunch of additional edgy adjectives for you to take home to your mama and papa. Now, we think we are pretty special in the gong to have so many artists gracing our stages, ranging from heavy-hitting internationals to absolute killer locals. So let's get stuck into what's kicking around town this week. So Thursday night you'll want to be at Rad Bar. We've got local legends Toddy performing their homecoming show for their Big Old Aussie tour, and they will be sure to put on a performance for their OG fans. Now, with help from fellow locals Archie Punker and Velvet Elevator, the trio of rockers will lift the roof off Rad Bar, and in a show that you would be silly to miss. Thursday also sees the Preachers stopping at Unibar as part of their regional Aussie tour with Ali Barter. The Sydney Groovers have been killing it as of late, coming off the back of an arena tour with none other than Harry Styles. And Gong 4-piece Spit Chewy will be opening things up before Melbourne soloist Ali Barter, and the Preachers will drive that sugar home. And Friday is a heavy sesh at Rad, with Hideous Sun Demon, Coffin, Sook and Slosh Pit thrashing the stage. Saturday night sees Aussie rockers Shepherd hitting the big top stage at the Innovation Campus, with Darty Shades, Ruby Tuesdays and Sam Allen Music. And Sunday, we've got Perth-born Katie Steele at the Heritage Hotel in Bulli. Now, you might remember this Chicky Lala from the classic Aussie band Little Birdie. Catch her iconic vocals from 7 p.m. And to round off your weekend, Sydney-based quintet Tangents will be swinging by Rad Bar on Sunday to celebrate their New Bodies album, along with the Groovers from Clocks and Clouds. So be sure to get out and have a groove, and let us know what you're keen on seeing this week. Back to you guys.
Well, we had some music advice and now we have some love advice, which I'm sure we all need from Riley.
Got questions about finding love in the digital age? There's only one person to ask. Dear Riley.
Frida asks, my favourite band is ABBA, but my boyfriend doesn't like ABBA. What should I do?
This is one of these things where you have to kind of settle on a compromise, and maybe you only listen to ABBA with headphones on, or find out how much your boyfriend doesn't like it. Does he not like it in the sense that he's kind of like, no, this is annoying, or is he adamantly against ABBA, and figure out if that kind of works for you. Yeah, you kind of got to find a spot in between both of your opinions.
So that was some very insightful advice from Riley there. I wonder if it was brought on from the new Mamma Mia movie.
Perhaps. Well, that's almost all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Our last segment is UOW Unplugged, where we'll see the soul man, Sal Viejo, playing for us. Thanks, guys.
Best thing about my friends is they're not imaginary anymore. And we make things and break things and do things and say things I never would have done before. So I'll always be thankful for the people they are. They make my life so much more worthwhile. They give me a spark. We walk home on another night, and we'll argue over breakfast, and it'll be alright. We'll see each other in line for coffee on Tuesday, and we'll end up back at Unibar like every single day. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I say it takes a village to keep me sane. But without the people around me, I know that life wouldn't be the same. And I know it sounds real corny, yeah, I know it sounds cliche, but it's the people who are around me that got me here today. We'll walk home on another night. We'll argue over breakfast, but it'll be alright. And we'll see each other in line for coffee on Tuesday, but we'll end up back at Unibar like every single day. for my friends, for every single one. And I know they know I love them, but it needs to be done. I need to say I love you to all of them, because I'm so proud of the people we are, and I'm proud to call you my friends. We walk home on another night. We'll argue over breakfast, but it'll be alright. We'll see each other in line for coffee on Tuesday, and we'll end up back at uni bar like every single one. We'll walk home on another night. We'll argue over breakfast, but it'll be alright. We'll see each other in line for coffee on Tuesday, and we'll end up back at uni bar like every single day. Oh, we'll end up back at uni bar like every single day. I wish we were back at uni bar like every single day.